Hey, happy Saturday, everyone. Hope that you guys are doing amazing. Okay, I never go live on Facebook, but here I am. Usually I just put replays up on here, but here I am. I wanted to do this live on here because it's a really important topic. Avoiding perimenopause, okay? Gonna be a really important topic. Listen, if you're in your 20s, you need to listen to this. If you're in your 30s, you need to listen to this. 40s, 50s, because again, we're at a time right now where we're having women even in their 20s going through perimenopause symptoms. Like, it's getting really bad, okay? And of course, and if you guys have been following me for any length of time, you should know that perimenopause is not natural, okay? It's not natural, okay? I typically say it doesn't exist. It's really hormonal imbalances, but we're gonna talk about that because for some women, it is a reality. But it doesn't have to be. Perimenopause does not have to be your reality. This is a new phenomenon. This is not something that was occurring 50 years ago or even longer. But this is a new phenomenon with, the way society is now, our lack of health, okay, our horrible lifestyles. This unfortunately becomes our reality where we're now dealing with women who are even in their 30s and 20s even, dealing with symptoms of perimenopause, okay? And this is setting them up for a really, really bad health, number one, and a really, really hard life. Because when you have a life where your hormones are out of whack, this is going to affect you physically, mentally, emotionally, in every way possible, right? And going forward, there's going to be impacts on your health because when our hormones are out of balance, this does affect our health, okay? So I want to talk about avoiding perimenopause today. Very important. Now, if you're watching this and you are, going through perimenopause, you're going through symptoms, you're having hormonal issues or fibroids or reproductive health issues, you need to listen to this, right? I also do have my Estro Dominance workshop coming up in 4 days. I cannot wait. I'm really excited about that. It's coming up soon on Wednesday and Thursday of next week on the 24th and 25th of April, if you're watching this, okay? If you're watching the replay. If you're watching the replay, hashtag replay. So for those that are watching the replay, so yes, we're gonna have the workshop next week. It's gonna be called Estro Dominance, 2-day workshop on hormonal imbalance. If you have estrogen dominance, which you do have when you are in perimenopause, I'm gonna explain that, right? If you have fibroids, if you have any type of reproductive health issue, hormonal issue, you need to be there, okay? You need to be there, okay? If you're watching me live, definitely hashtag live. But you need to be there. You need to be in the building of that, in the workshop. The workshop is $55 for 2 days. And if you want to sign up, the link is in my caption. If you're watching this on YouTube, the link is going to be in my description box, okay? But a lot of you don't understand your hormonal health. You don't understand what's going on with your body when you're dealing with, these issues. It's really important for you to get to the core of what these issues are. Number one, what these issues are. And number two, get to the core of what's really going on in your body, right? So that you can resolve it, all right? So let's talk perimenopause today. And if you guys have questions, feel free to ask me questions. But there are 3 phases in a woman's life where her hormones, she's gonna be experiencing hormonal shifts. This is gonna be puberty, okay, number 1. Number 2, for women that do have children, postpartum, that we know that when you're going through pregnancy, postpartum, you're experiencing a lot of, hormonal shifts. And another period is also menopause, okay? Menopause, right? That does not include perimenopause, but menopause, okay? But we're gonna talk about perimenopause today. Now, what is perimenopause? It's that transitional phase, I would say about 10 years or so. For most women, this is their reality, right? 10 years or so before menopause, where she's experiencing, her body is gearing up for menopause and she's experiencing all types of shifts in the body, right? I'm gonna go over some of the signs and symptoms because you may be experiencing perimenopause symptoms and not even know it. I'm telling you, it's getting younger and younger. And for women, it's subtle, it's very subtle. For some women, it is more kind of dramatic, but for a lot of women, it's very subtle, okay? So perimenopause, when it comes to menopause, when it comes to your body transitioning into menopause, it should never be this drastic, going through all these long lists of symptoms. It should never be that. And you know that if that's what's occurring, you know that it's due to your health. It's due to it's due to your gut health. It's due to your digestive health. It's due to your your nervous system, your adrenals, your thyroid hormones. Like it's much more than just your reproductive health. It's much more than just, what's going on, that fact that you're in perimenopause. It's not normal, right? I want you to understand that does not have to be your reality. It is really a reflection of what's going on in your body, what's going on in your health, okay? What's going on with your hormonal health. This is not the time to run to get hormones, fake hormones from the doctor. This is not the time for hormone therapy. This is the time to really look within. And that's why I'm doing this live, so women that's even have started the beginning symptoms, or if you haven't even started yet, you need to be on top of your health so we can avoid, because you can avoid the perimenopausal phase. You can avoid that. As you guys know, and I post receipts, we literally have women who are saying like their mothers or grandmothers, stop having their period at 60, at 70. That's normal. And if they wanted to have a child, they could, before they stop their period. That's normal. That's what's normal. What we're going through, and as a collective with women that's dealing with perimenopause in late 30s and 40s, that's not normal, and that's a reflection of what's going on in your body. When you go to other parts of the world where they're having a much healthier diet, where they're not eating a whole bunch of processed foods, or barely any, little to none, right? Where they're not overworking themselves, they're not overly stressed, they're not dealing with anxiety, go to another part of the world and you're going to see it's a lot different. You're not going to be experiencing menopause in your 40s or 50s, or even perimenopausal symptoms in 30s or 40s. That's not normal. We've normalized that. And, within, I would say, the last few years, this whole perimenopausal thing has been a push. I'm telling you guys that doctors do normalize sickness. And as years go by, they're going to normalize perimenopause symptoms earlier and earlier. Just watch, right? So this is not something you have to go through. Perimenopause, let me just reiterate that. It might piss some people off. And I hope that I'm not missing the comments. If you guys are here, please hashtag live, talk back to me, okay? This is why I like doing lives on TikTok, because they actually talk, okay? But talk back to me, is this your experience? Do you understand what I'm trying to say? It's not normal. When you're dealing with perimenopausal symptoms, it's not normal. You have to understand this is a reflection of your health. It is not something you have to go through, okay? So, if y'all can hear and see me, put a 1 in the chat if you guys can hear and see me perfectly. So your transition into menopause should be subtle and a gradual transition. It should never be, all these years of you having horrible, hello, so glad I'm seeing this. Oh, thank you. Hey, Candace. Hi. Nice to see you. Thank you for being here. Put a 1 in the chat, you guys, if you guys can hear and see me. Y'all are all quiet, okay? What's going on? Live, but I'm driving. So no problem, Angel. Hey, Angel. Thank you for coming over to Facebook, okay? Thank you, because I know you usually watch me on TikTok. Hey, Angel. Hey, everybody that's watching. Yes, drive safely, please. But here's the thing, ladies. You don't have to go through perimenopausal symptoms. I'm going to read off some of the symptoms, because some of these symptoms, right, you may be in your 25, you may be 35 and dealing with the beginning of perimenopause right now and not even realize it, right? You not even realize it, it's not even on your radar. You're not even thinking about it, right? Because typically women in their 30s are not thinking about, for the most part, perimenopause, right? Unless they're experiencing lots of symptoms. So you may be experiencing this and not realizing it. For Sal, I don't know if you're a man or you're a woman. I think you're a man. Hi. But yes, okay, so let me go over some of the symptoms. Okay, so if you're having any issues with ovulation, if you are having any issues with ovulation, that is definitely a sign. If you have even one of these, you need to listen. You have to work on your health and your hormonal health, or you're going to go through decades of this stuff affecting you physically, mentally, and emotionally. Because when you have hormonal issues, it affects you in every way. You're never going to have a healthy, happy life when you're dealing with hormonal imbalance. It's impossible, right? So if you're having issues with ovulation, failure to ovulate, or pain during ovulation, you're bleeding during ovulation, this is a sign that you are exhibiting perimenopausal symptoms, okay? Breast tenderness is definitely a sign of low progesterone. That's a sign that you're experiencing these symptoms. Hot flashes, night sweats, we know that one, right? And I want to reiterate this too. There's about 100 or something symptoms. I'm just naming a few. I'm not naming the whole list of 100 or something, because that's how many symptoms are associated with perimenopause, okay? Urinary incontinence is hard for you, again, to really hold your bladder. That's definitely a sign. Vaginal dryness, that's a sure sign. higher, like you're getting UTIs a lot, you're getting UTIs a lot, that's a sign. Changes in your libido, like you notice that your libido is a lot lower, okay? Dealing with any type of insomnia, or maybe waking up in the middle of the night, whether it's hard for you to fall asleep, or you're waking up in the middle of the night, or you're waking up and you can't go back to sleep, or you're waking up several times in the middle of the night, okay? You cannot get a good night's sleep, right? Worsening PMS symptoms. So if you notice that your PMS symptoms are starting to get worse, right? You're starting to get more cramps, you're starting to get more bloating during your cycle, you're starting to get more pain, you're starting to get more breast tenderness, you're starting to get more mood changes. This is a sign of perimenopause, that you're starting that phase, right? Listen, if you're listening to this, it can be reversed, because I've literally gotten women out of what they thought was menopause. I'm being honest with you. I've had a woman who literally was in her late 40s, thought she was in menopause for 3 years, worked with me in my Detoxify Your Womb program. We got her cycles back. If she wanted to have another baby, she could. I'm telling you. So you have to understand the difference between, my body's really in menopause, which doesn't really happen till be honest with y'all, after the 50s, like 60s and beyond. That's real natural. I let my body gradually get into menopause. And I don't care whether early menopause, quote unquote, runs in your family or not, because this is an indication of your family's health history, okay? So let me just go on with the list here. If you're dealing with hair loss, if you're dealing with IBS, if you're dealing with heart palpitations, which a lot of women too that have iron issues deal with, dry eyes, dry skin, okay, headaches, brain fog, difficulty concentrating. I hear that a lot, okay? It's hard for you. You have this short attention span. It's difficult for you to concentrate and focus. I see that a lot, I see that a lot with women these days. Dry mouth, or you have also tingling in your hands, in your feet, cold hands, cold feet, that too. Muscle aches, joint aches. You know how people say, oh, after 30, you start having all these aches and pains? That's not normal. That is, listen, that is a reflection of your bodies, where you are health-wise. So you should not be having no aches and pains in 30s or 40s. I'm going to be honest with you. You shouldn't be. Unless you're doing workouts that's really hard on your joints, which you should not be doing. But other than that, you should not be having extremely, I'm definitely having concentration issues. Absolutely. Like, it's not just you. This is, a lot of women are having this. People can't even sit down and watch a live these days, like an entire live. They're like, it's really bad. People are difficulty just focusing and concentrating. It's really, really bad. And it's getting worse and worse and worse. And this does affect our brain health. That's why dementia is so common, unfortunately. It's becoming more and more common as the years go by. And it's going to be even more common for this generation. It is. Okay. Worsening allergies. If you feel your allergies are worsening than they are before. Now, let me tell you something. Allergies on its own is high estrogen. Even for children can have high estrogen levels as well. Their mothers passed it on to them. That's why little girls are starting their cycles earlier now. A lot of you little girls are starting their cycles 8, 9. That was unheard of before. But now that's the norm, especially in the Black community, right? That's high estrogen levels. You want to get ahead of that very soon. You don't want to continue to let your daughter deal with this and having these horrible cycles, and then boom, she has fibroids. Boom, she has, PCOS. Boom, she has other reproductive health issues. Okay. Also, if you're spotting before or after, this one is a clear one. A lot of women deal with this too. If you're spotting before or after your cycle, so if you're like, oh, I spot for days, before or after your cycle, that's a perimenopausal symptom. That's low progesterone. Okay. Dizziness, anxiety, depression, or any other mood disorder, right? You're having all this anxiety, you're having this depression all of a sudden, like, well, these symptoms, like I said, can be subtle, because some of this with women, they don't notice it because they're so subtle. They start slowly, like I said, you start slowly having these symptoms, and then boom, you're like, oh my gosh, then you realize, wait a minute, this is not normal, right? So nausea as well. Some women do experience nausea. Now, is this the full list? No. Oh, another thing too, you're getting reoccurring yeast infections, reoccurring BV as well. Okay, that's also very common. Also discharging like daily. You should not be discharging every day, contrary to what your doctors have told you. You should be discharging during your ovulation for like a few days, right? Cervical mucus, we should know that's like an egg white consistency, but you should not be just discharging every single day. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not, right? I know typically women that have fibroids, that have estrogen dominance do, right? But this is why we want to rebalance our hormones. It's very important for you to rebalance your hormones, okay? So I'm going to go through in a second. I'm going to go through what you can do now to not just, we're fully going to talk about this in the workshop in 4 days, my estrogen dominance workshop. If you have not signed up and you know that you are having these issues, you need to be there, because we're going to talk about how to correct this fully in that 2-day workshop. Okay, so if you haven't signed up, and literally it's in 4 days, run to the link in this live. Run to the link in this live. Okay, the link is in this caption, and sign up. Okay, it's very important that you're there. I discharge clear liquid whole day every day. Okay, that's definitely. Nick, are you dealing with any type of fibroids, any type of reproductive health issue? That's definitely a symptom of perimenopause too. But again, a lot of women that have fibroids. Let me just say this. Women that have fibroids, listen up. Women that have estrogen dominance symptoms, women that have fibroids, that have PCOS, endometriosis, ovarian cysts, any of these fibroids in your breast, because that's a thing now. That's a thing. The cyst in your breast, listen up, okay? You're at risk for early menopause. Number one, you're at risk for early perimenopausal symptoms. Because your hormones are out of balance. When you have fibroids, your hormones are out of balance. I have fibroids, blood clots, and I'm anemic. Nick, you need to be at that workshop next week, because we cannot suffer like this. We cannot go through life like this with issues that are reversible. Okay, so glad you're talking about this. Orange looks great on you. Thank you so much, Jessica. Thank you for joining me. Cause I was like, TikTok, I need y'all here, because TikTok talks. Facebook don't talk. Everybody's silent on Facebook, but I appreciate y'all talking to me today. I appreciate you guys. Rockwell, hey Rockwell, I have trouble with always getting BV. Okay, Rockwell, do you have any reproductive health issues? I'm gonna just ask you that going. And if you don't, you need to definitely, whether you do or you don't, check out the workshop next week. This is why I'm saying this. I'm pushing this workshop, not because I just want y'all to be there, because I want you guys, I need y'all to understand, listen, these issues are not because you're in your 30s or 40s. That's not why they're occurring. There are deeper reasons. You need to understand the root causes of these issues so that you can take you can know what to do about them, right? We have to stop. When is the workshop? It's on Tuesday and Wednesday. The workshop is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tuesday and Wednesday. It will be on Zoom. Only the ladies that have registered will get the Zoom details. Right now, it is $55, okay, for 2 days, okay? So make sure that you guys are there. Thank you guys for tagging. I appreciate you guys tagging. Tag a friend that you know that's dealing with perimenopause. It's not normal. It's not normal. We don't have to suffer, okay? Sasha, I want to gift the workshop to one of my clients. Okay, great. Yay. Okay. Thank you, Angel. Angel, shout out to Angel. She was the first person to sign up. I love that. Yes. If you guys know somebody that, needs this, go ahead and gift it to them. If you know somebody, because some people watch me, they're not having issues, but other people they know are having issues. If you know a family member or a friend and you have the means to gift this workshop to them, go ahead and gift it to them. Why not? All my gyno has me on his pills and that's not working. Thank you, Rockwell, for saying that. Rockwell, let me tell you something. I'm talking to everybody. When we're talking about pills, when we're talking about, supplements, when we're talking about, these are not going to get to the root causes of what's going on in your body, of any type of hormonal imbalance, right? Sometimes these pills and these hormone therapies make you feel better just for a little bit, but then you're back again because you didn't do the work to get to the root cause of the problem. You didn't address your hormones. You didn't address, your gut health. You didn't address your thyroid hormones. You didn't address your nervous system, your adrenals. You didn't address your liver, right? You didn't address your kidneys, like things that things that have deeper causes, things that we have to address when we have these issues, right? Because you didn't address that, what happens? We get these issues again and they become a recurring issue, right? So we take a pill or we try a new diet, we feel a little better for a little bit, but then they come back. You know that if whatever you're doing, if your health regimen is not addressing the root cause, then you know it's not the correct health regimen. It's not, okay? The price that is marked under the 12 steps to shrink your fibroids is the price for the program. It is not no. It's so when you go to the link in my bio, the workshop is the estro dominance 2-day hormonal balance workshop. That's the workshop. No, it's not a program, it's a workshop. So that's what I was talking about, unless you referring to the program. It's I'm trying to get into that program so bad. So, okay, Nick, okay, so the 12 Steps on How to Shrink Your Fibroids full bundle course is not a program, it is a self-study course. And yes, if you have fibroids, you do need that course. Absolutely, so that is the price, yes. That is not a program, that is a self-study, self-guided course, okay? The program that I have is my 6-week hormone reset, and also that's an intensive, that's a mini program. And the big program, if you've been following me for any length of time, that's the Detoxify Your Womb program. That's for women that's trying to completely transform their health. That's not for everybody, okay? Now, if you're watching this and you're like, listen, Sasha, I've been following you. I know I want to work with you. And you're interested in the 6-week hormone reset, go ahead and join that. Instead of going to the workshop, go ahead and join that, because we're fully going to dive deep in, these issues for this 6 weeks and help you as well implement this stuff into your life, right? Implement these changes into your life, because listen, you can't just continue to be on this trajectory where you're just taking a hormone a synthetic hormone or a herb, and again, you're not getting to the root cause of the problem. When our hormones are out of balance, listen, this affects us physically, as women mentally. You're never gonna be happy when you're dealing with hormonal imbalance. You're never gonna feel fulfilled in true happiness, because you're not gonna be well inside. You're not going to. It's gonna affect your mood. It's gonna affect even your outlook in life is affected by your hormones, your brain chemistry, right? You cannot walk around with hormones that are imbalanced for years on end. And some of you guys, decades of your life have been spent in hormonal imbalance. We have to stop this, right? You have to stop this. I've been following you for a while now on TikTok, Facebook. Okay, I get the emails all the time. Okay, great. Shout out to you, Nick. Thank you so much for following me. Okay, so it's really, really important. Perimenopause is not something you have to go through. It's just not. It's not. It's not something you have to go through. If you guys have questions, ask me. Go ahead and ask me questions, but it's not something you have to go through. So how can we avoid this? How do we avoid perimenopause? How can we avoid this becoming a reality in our life? Because we can avoid it. You don't have to go through 10 years of your hormones being crazy before getting into menopause, right? And you can avoid early menopause, okay? I want to do the program to shrink my fibroids that will and to restore my health. Okay, so the self-guided courses will also help you shrink your fibroids as well and get rid of them and restore your health as well. But if you want to work with me, check out the 6-week. To work with me directly is the Detoxify Your Womb program. Detoxify Your Womb program. That's to work with me directly for 3 months. That's for women that want to transform their health completely. Okay, but I do vet women that's coming into the program. There is a vetting process, because that's not for everybody. And I want to know whether it's a good fit for me and you, not just you. Okay, so if you want to do my highest level program, that's my Detoxify Your Womb program. Okay. So you can also message me if you're interested in getting that program. But go to the link in my bio, or the link in this caption, I'm sorry. Read about it, see if it's for you, okay? So how do we avoid perimenopause? Because we can avoid it, contrary to popular belief, we can avoid it. First of all, making sure that your hormones are in balance. So if we're having these chaotic menstrual cycles, we know our hormones are not in balance. If we're discharging every day, if we're bleeding heavily, if you're bleeding for more than 4 days, you know your hormones are not in balance. If you're dealing with cramps, breast tenderness, PMS, all this stuff, spotting for days on end, you know your hormones are not in balance. So making sure that your hormones are in balance, okay? Your hormones work together, right? You want to get your glands and your organs healthy, so they're producing the right amount of hormone. Not too little, not too much, right? The right amounts. They're not going to produce the right amount of hormone unless you're healthy, unless your glands, your organs, you're healthy, right? Your endocrine system is healthy. So you can't sit here and say, well, I'm going to just take these synthetic hormones and I'm going to be okay. That's not how it works. You'll feel okay for a little bit, but the problem is still there. It's going to manifest in another way. It's going to manifest in another way. And that's why breast cancer is on the rise, cervical cancer is on the rise. These are hormonal. These start hormonal. Estrogen dominance. That's why I'm doing this workshop next week, because guess what? Guess what's an estrogen dominant cancer? Breast cancer, because you have these estrogen receptors in your breast as well as your uterus, right? So ovarian cancer, okay, uterine cancer, cervical cancer, these are estrogen dominant cancers, estrogen dependent cancers. Do your research. So if you have estrogen dominance, if you have this hormonal imbalance, guess what? You are at risk for these cancers, regardless of whether it runs in your family or not. That's why it's so important for you to get ahead of it now. What you do for your health in your 30s or 40s sets you up in your 50s, 60s, and beyond. I'm telling you this right now. So you guys that are sleeping on your health, that are sitting, sliding your feet, not doing nothing about your health, you're setting yourself up to suffer. You are, okay? So get your stuff together now. I don't care if you're watching this, you're 30, you're 40, get your crap together. When it comes to your health, get your crap together, okay? If you over here bleeding, talking about, don't sit here and say my doctor says everything is normal. No, you do further research. If you know that you're over here heavily bleeding, how can your hormones be healthy? How can you be healthy? It's impossible. It's impossible. Okay? And understand that when it comes to doctors and these hormonal tests, they're not the best quality. I'm just going to be honest with you. They're not the best quality of tests. That's why a woman that has fibroids and heavy bleeding and anemia can look me in the face and say, my doctor told me my hormones were normal. That is a lie. Your body is showing you. Listen to the symptoms that your body is showing you. Stop listening to these tests that are not even good quality. Listen to the symptoms your body is showing you. Okay? So, also nourishing your body. We live in a world now where women are suppressing their natural symptoms, are suppressing their symptoms. They don't want to deal with headaches. They don't want to deal with, breast tenderness. They don't want to deal with pain or cramps. So instead of actually getting to the root cause of the problem, they want to suppress it with pills and painkillers, which is really bad for your organs, but that's in a whole other conversation, right? They want to suppress it instead of doing the work to address it. They don't want to address it. They want to suppress. That's not how you nourish your body. That's not how you care for your body, right? So that in itself is a problem. What is your diet like? What are you eating? What are you feeding your body on a day-to-day basis? Okay? What are you doing every day to nourish your body? Like, are you taking breaks? Are you actually, managing your stress levels correctly? Like, what are you doing? A lot of you guys, are you exercising, right? Are you also doing, another thing too, when it comes to resistance training, HIIT training, right? Weights, these are really good for women that have perimenopausal symptoms. Building some muscle, okay? I'm not saying you have to look like a bodybuilder. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying you have to lift like a bodybuilder. Light weights is fine. I have light weights in the house. Light weights is fine. But doing something, don't sit there and just be sedentary and not do nothing. That's ridiculous. Also, prioritizing sleep, making sleep a priority. A lot of people, the reason why they're also dealing with sleep issues today, because for years and years and years, they've literally put sleep on the back burner, right? They've literally not taking their sleep. You should prioritize your sleep. You understand that your body is healing at night. It's restoring itself at night. That's a very pivotal time. Your body is healing and restoring itself at night. If it can't do that efficiently, guess what? Your hormones are going to be in disarray. Your hormones are going to be in disarray. So make sure that you're prioritizing enough sleep. I'm not going to tell you how many hours, because some women do great off 6 and they feel well rested throughout the day. Some women need 8. Everybody's different, right? So make sure that you're getting enough where you feel it's not hard for you to get out of bed and you feel well rested. You know when you feel well rested and when you feel tired. And coffee is not going to do it. It's going to worsen your hormones. It's going to worsen your organ health. Trust me. Okay? So maintaining a healthy weight. Okay? Whatever that means for you. I'm not telling you to be a size 2. I'm telling you to be a healthy weight for you. Okay? For you and your body shape. Okay? I'm not telling you to be the thickest person in the world either. Be a healthy weight. Okay? That doesn't mean, the skinny waist and huge butt, right? Be a healthy weight. I don't care what that looks like for you, okay? I'm really talking to black women here now because we have an issue with this, right? I want you guys to look at women in the 80s and 90s when they weren't dealing with all these issues like we are now. Look at their weight then. Okay? Watch some movies. I don't know, right? Google women in the 80s and 90s, see how they look like. And look how we look like now. It's a huge difference. I was just having a conversation with my sister that's in medical school about this. How many women had a flat stomach in the 90s? Oh my gosh. Everybody had a flat stomach in the 90s. Not everybody, but a lot of women did. It was nothing. But nowadays, my God, it's rare. Even for women in their 20s, it's rare. Okay? Sleep is so important. Exactly, Chris, exactly. Some music videos you will see. Exactly. Listen, music videos, movies, you can just Google pictures of women back, or some of them, your mom, your grandmother's pictures of women back in the day, their body weight. Look how they looked, and look at how we look now. I'm telling you, and let me tell you something, for women that are watching this, young women that's in their 30s, 40s, 20s, that's watching this, right? I want to tell you this. You see how that women who are in their older ages are suffering, I don't want to say older ages, but women in their 60s, 70s, and 80s are suffering with their health now? you're going to be worse. Because you're going to be a lot worse. Because at least they had years where they weren't eating processed foods. At least they were born at a time where processed foods wasn't that popular. You're going to be worse than them. You're going to be way worse than them. I'm telling you this because some of you guys were born into eating processed foods. For millennials and generation, who's before that? Generation Z, oh my God. If you don't get ahead of this now, you're in trouble. I'm telling you this right now. I'm seeing the belly fat starting as girls as young as 5 and 6. Listen. It's getting bad. It's the dieting lifestyle. It's the dieting lifestyle. It's scary. I'm telling you, it's scary nowadays. It's scary. I remember, and I'm not saying that this is the right. I remember if you were like in the 90s, if you were like 5 pounds overweight, they were calling you fat. I don't know if I'm not saying it's right now. I'm not saying that's right. Don't call nobody fat, but I'm just saying, I remember in the 90s, if you were 2 pounds overweight, they calling you fat. Nowadays, listen, you gotta be, if you are 100 pounds overweight, they will look you in the eye and tell you, you look beautiful, you look amazing. They will look you in the eye and listen. Now, sleep is important. Supporting your gut health. Supporting your gut health does not mean taking a probiotic. That's not what it means. Listen, supporting your gut health. What are you eating? You know when your gut is healthy and when it's not. Okay, they will look you in the eye being 100 pounds overweight and tell you you look amazing. They will it's insulting. It's insulting. Okay, supporting your gut health. Okay, health starts in the gut. Supporting your gut health does not mean if you feel like you need a probiotic, you know that your gut health is horrible. It's horrible. Because if you have good gut health, it's not supporting your gut health. Stop thinking that supplements are going to do that for you. It's not going to do that for you. These are lifestyle and diet changes, okay? Supporting your gut health. And stress affects, high cortisol levels affects your gut health. Stress affects your gut health, okay? What you eat affects your gut health. Sleep affects your gut health. When I was 120 pounds, people said I look fine, knowing good and well I look pregnant because I'm short. They will listen. You could be 220 pounds. They will lie to you in your face and tell you, you look amazing. You look great. Okay? You're not fat. You look great. Yogurt help. No, Chris, no, not yogurt. No. Dairy is horrible for gut health. Dairy is horrible for gut health. Dairy is horrible for gut health. Horrible. I cannot stress that enough. Dairy is the reason why a lot of people have horrible gut health. That and sleep and stress and everything in between. I'm about 20 or so pounds overweight and it's weighing me down literally and physically and figuratively. It's time to take action. Absolutely. And I'm happy that you're actually making that priority because like I said, because we've been lied to by so many people, I've always been slim and never had a flat stomach. That's the thing too, y'all. Perimenopause, I forgot to mention that. Weight around that midsection area, that's it. Listen, especially if you're on the slim side and you have like a saddlebag, I'm not trying to be funny, but you have like this weight around the midsection that's very hard for you to get rid of. That's another sign of that you're in perimenopause. That's another sign, okay? So staying active. That means moving your body. That means not staying in the house 24/7. That means, or going from the car to the store, you're just never active. You haven't taken a walk in 3-4 years since COVID first hit. You're never active. You need to be active. Our bodies literally are made to be active. But a lot of women, like I said, I'm not just women, just how our society is set up today is very easy for us not to be active. So that's why we have to take the initiative to be active. Your body is made to move. That's why our ancestors back in the day wasn't dealing with all these issues that we're dealing with right now. Your grandmother, great-grandmother, some of you, even your mothers, had 8-9 kids like it was nothing. And then people are struggling to push out even one these days. Some of your grandmothers had their 5th, 6th, 7th child in their 40s like it was nothing. It was nothing. But people are struggling to push out 2. This is ridiculous. Now, supporting your liver health. Supporting your liver health, your kidney health. I even told you guys, if you have issues with and your blood sugar levels as well. If you have recurring BV, if you have yeast infections, if you have sugar cravings, if you have all these issues, listen, it's deeper reasons for that. And we're going to talk about that at the workshop. We're talking about this at the workshop in great detail. If you perimenopausal, you need to be at that workshop. Estrogen Dominance 2-day hormonal balance workshop. It's on Wednesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, okay? On Zoom. If you sign up, you'll get the Zoom link for women that sign up. It is only $55. You need to be there. If you're having these issues and you have not signed up, listen. Ask somebody, if you don't have the money, ask somebody to gift it to you. It's really important because we're going to learn how to address these issues. And yes, if you're perimenopausal, you're dealing with estrogen dominance. Absolutely. That does not mean you have high estrogen. That means that you have extremely low progesterone and that there's an imbalance of estrogen and progesterone. So that's why when I say estrogen dominance, women that are in perimenopause think it doesn't apply to them, but it actually absolutely does apply to them. I'm signing up today. Okay, great, Candace. The link is in my caption. You're going to see it right in the caption, okay? Sign up. Listen, y'all need to be there. Okay? If you have, fibroids, PMS, if you have PCOS, if you have endometriosis, ovarian cysts, fibrocystic breast, you need to be there. Why you need to be there. You're clearly estrogen dominant. This is how you guys want to avoid perimenopause. Who wants to be in perimenopause for 10 plus years and then be in menopause for the rest of their life, for 3 decades of their life or more, okay, with all these horrible symptoms? How can you fully enjoy life when you have all this crap going on? And listen, now it's even worse because a lot of women are having children later than before, which is nothing's wrong with that. But I'll tell you what's wrong with this conversation, right? What's wrong with it in this sense, right? Now, if you are perimenopausal and you can't have a baby still when you're perimenopausal, if you're perimenopausal and you're dealing with pregnancy postpartum, listen, you're gonna have a horrible time. I'm telling you this right now. You can get pregnant in perimenopause, you can, but you're gonna have a horrible, horrible time because your hormones are jacked. And then pregnancy brings on more of a hormonal imbalance. So literally, you're walking into pregnancy already with hormonal imbalance, right? You guys don't think that it affects your baby's health too? You guys don't think that it affects your baby's health? We have to do better. Addressing your nutritional deficiencies. Again, we're going to talk more about this at the workshop, okay? But you need to listen. If you're dealing with low iron, get your life together. I'm being honest with you. Get your life together. First of all, if you're dealing with low iron, you need to first focus on your gut health. That's a gut health issue. Your body's not absorbing enough iron. If you're dealing with low vitamin D, get your life together. We got to do better. And the reason why a lot of people are dealing with these nutrient deficiencies is because of their gut health, because of their digestive health, because their hormones are out of balance, right? Because of all these issues. Okay? So I want you guys to make this a priority in your life. You don't have to be perimenopausal. You don't have to deal with this. We've been hearing it so much now because women's health is horrible. It's horrible as a collective. It's horrible. That's why we keep hearing about it now. 20 years ago, nobody was talking about it. And people say, well, why didn't my mother or my grandmother tell me about this? Because more than likely, if they had a healthy lifestyle and diet, if they were from back in the day where they had a much healthier, diet and lifestyle, they weren't dealing with all these issues. That's a you issue. They weren't dealing with all this. People always tell me, well, why didn't my grandmother, I always see this on Facebook and online. My grandmother and my mother didn't tell me about all this stuff because they weren't dealing with it. They weren't dealing with it. Okay? This is a new phenomenon. You have women in their 20s going through perimenopausal symptoms. It's a you issue. Get your hormones in balance. Okay? So I say all that to say, ladies, I'm having a workshop next week. It's called Estrogen Dominance 2-day workshop, okay? Hormonal balance workshop. You need to be there if you're dealing with any of these symptoms, if you're dealing with reproductive health issues, okay? It's going to be an amazing workshop. I'm going to teach you how to correct these issues, how to address these issues the right way, and what's going on in the body when you have these issues. Because a lot of women don't understand and know their bodies fully, okay? So hopefully that makes sense. Does anybody have any questions, by the way? If you guys have questions, I know that when I do my lives on TikTok, this is where I usually do my lives, I get a lot of questions. That's why I'm asking you guys. Do you have questions? Okay? Because, again, how about if you're already in menopause? I'm on HRT. Yes, absolutely. Chris, yes. It will be extremely beneficial for you. So, I'm going to be honest with you. If you're already in menopause, and you're below the age, I'm going to be honest with you, this is going to trigger some people. So everybody take a deep breath. It's going to trigger some people. If you're below the age of 60, 9 times out of 10, that's not real menopause. And then once you get your hormones in balance, you're going to get your cycles back. And I'm telling you this as somebody that's worked with a lot of women who have thought that they were in menopause and were not. I've worked with women and gotten them out of perimenopause. It's not really real, but we have to put a name to it because of how the climate is today, because the health is so bad. But you're not supposed to go through perimenopause. But if you're already in menopause, is it real menopause? Ask yourself that. Or is this a hormonal imbalance? Okay? If you're on HRT, 9 times out of 10 it's not a real menopause, because menopause is not supposed to be this long list of symptoms. It's a subtle, gradual change. I just posted yesterday about how women were saying they, and this is real, go do the research. In other countries, when they're not dealing with all the stuff that we're dealing with in the US, literally, they have, you don't want your cycle back. Listen, when you get your cycle back, if you get your cycle back, it's not going to be chaotic. Because the reason why a lot of women say, well, I don't want my cycle back because it was bad. And again, that's a hormonal imbalance. Your cycle is not supposed to be bad. When my client got her cycle back, it was just like 3 days, very light. Like, it wasn't a big deal. You're not supposed to deal with a whole long list of symptoms. Okay? I will say this. You want to ovulate. You do want your cycle back because you want to ovulate as long as possible. As long as you possibly can, until it's a natural, gradual, you going into menopause. We cannot force our bodies into menopause. And that's what we're doing now. We're literally, unknowingly, we're forcing our bodies into menopause without really knowing what we're doing. Okay? So that's very important. What is the accurate age of menopause? It's no age before 60, I'll tell you that. It's no age before 60. Some women in their 70s, I'm going to be honest with you. This is going to be hard for a lot of people to hear, but it's the truth. I heard women starting their mid-40s. Now, that's women, again, that's in a society where we're unhealthy. That's when it happens. In a society when we're unhealthy and we're forcing our bodies into early menopause, that's when it happens, right? You're supposed to be able to have children up and down your 40s like it's nothing. All like up and down your 40s like it's nothing. For those that want children in their 40s, some people don't, and that's totally fine, right? But you're supposed to be able to do that if you want to. Okay, back in the day, they had, like, it was nothing. Only today it's a big deal. Even 25, they're running to IVF. That's crazy. 25 and running to IVF. 30 and needing HRT. That's crazy. We have to change. I mean, it's getting lower and lower. I'm telling you, it's low. The more y'all normalize this perimenopause and make it a real reality in your life, it's lower and lower and lower. Like, women are expressing this at earlier and earlier ages. It's ridiculous. Okay. So anybody else have any other questions before we go? Ladies, I want to see y'all at that workshop. Shout out to Ellie. I see you at the workshop. Okay. I think Jessica was in here earlier. She's going to be at the workshop as well. She signed up already. Make sure y'all are there. Okay. This is how you know, again, this is how you're going to learn what's really going on with your body. Okay. When you have these issues. Okay. And how to correct them. All right. We're going to really address that fully in the workshop. Yep, I'll be there. Yay. Okay, Ellie. Yay. Okay. Y'all that's listening, if you're dealing with these issues, register. All right. You can go to the link in this caption and the caption in this video to register. The link is in my bio, either one. If nobody has any other questions, we're going to go. Perimenopause does not have to be a reality for you. And you don't want it to be a reality for you because, again, that indicates the status of your health. Okay. That indicates the status of your health. And that puts you more at risk for more serious conditions, autoimmune disorders and cancers. Same thing HRT does. I'm be honest with you, HRT puts you at risk for these cancers. You want your body producing the natural amount of hormone. We don't want to be on synthetic hormones. Your body is very powerful. Your body is very healing, but you got to provide the right environment for it to do so. Okay? Your body recognizes synthetic hormones as toxins. It's never going to recognize it as your body's real hormones. Your body's intelligent and knows the difference between that fake progesterone and your real natural progesterone. All right? I don't care what your doctor told you. They want you to be, we know that healthcare is really sick care anyway in this country. We should know that in 2024. I mean, if you don't know that, I'm sorry. Healthcare is sick care. They want to keep you sick. That's more money for Big Pharma and them. Okay? So if you want to fall into that, trap, that's a trap right there. And that's, hey, more power to you. It's really, it's sick care. And doctors will even tell you that. Okay? Now, they're not going to tell their patients that. But talk to them behind the scenes. They will tell you that. They will tell you that. I know, listen, I'm talking to more and more doctors that's out the system now. That's literally like, look, I'm starting my own wellness center. I've had so many doctors, people that practiced in the past reach out to me because they want to take me on. Okay? Like, I'm telling you, it's a flawed system. So if you're going that route, good luck. Good luck. All right? So if you're watching this and you're like, look, listen, I don't want to set myself up for a life of suffering. All right. I actually want to balance my hormones. I want to be happy and healthy because there's no happiness without balanced hormones. I'll tell you that right now. Then go ahead and click the link in this caption. I want you to see you at that workshop in 4 days at my Estradiol Dominance. Was a 2-day hormonal balance workshop. Okay. We're going to listen. You're going to learn so much. It's going to be amazing. It's on Tuesday and Wednesday at 6 p.m. on Zoom, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom. Everybody that attends will get the replays. Everybody that attends. So if you're like, I know somebody in, Arizona that registered. She was like, you know what? I'm not going to make it due to the time, but I'm just going to get the replays, which is totally fine. Okay? Which is totally fine. So make sure you guys are there. All right? And for those that are like, want to really work with me more, more in depth, want to really cover this more, want me to cover this more in depth, check out the 6-week hormone reset. The 6 week, it starts May 1st. Okay? So check that out. A lot of women have been hitting me up about that. They're like, listen, because they saw the amazing results the ladies that in the 6-week intensive have gotten. Okay, so check that out. Link is also in the caption. Have a wonderful rest of your Saturday. I got a lot of things to do today. I'm sure you guys do. I don't want to keep you too long, but have a wonderful rest of your day. Okay, if you have Sasha's the real deal. I don't even have breast tenderness anymore. Yay! Yay, Jessica. Oh my God, I'm so happy to hear that. Listen, and breast tenderness, we just read it off. It's one of the signs of perimenopause. So we got you out of perimenopause. We got you out of perimenopause, Jessica. Okay. So if you're listening to this, you don't want this to be your reality where you're in perimenopause and suffering for 10 plus years. Be in that workshop. Okay. Bye, ladies. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.